Okay guys, this is the first. I'm going to show you a real-time drawing. As you can see, there's a rough outline here, and this is basically because a lot of you have seen me do this fast time, so now I'm actually going to do it in normal speed, and I've done a simple Skylander so it won't be too complicated and therefore won't take me forever. And I thought basically I can tell you how I do these vids and how it comes to be. So first, the idea comes from you guys about what legendary Skylander you would like to see. It's pretty simple. It's a Skylander that you like, and then the blue and gold paint job. Of course, I don't actually have gold because that'd be a bit too cool, so I use just the yellow and blue felt pens. Now, as you can see here, you probably recognise this Skylander. I've done a nice simple one, so nothing too complicated in shapes or outlines. Plus, I thought it'd be a nice fun one to do for a change. And I haven't done many of the original series. Everyone's gone for ones from the older ones. Also, plus, with the ideas that come from people, there's only a couple I haven't accepted. There's a couple of enchanted ones, and the only reason being is because I said I was drawing legendary Skylanders. So if I start drawing enchanted ones, it's not really quite the same thing, and there wouldn't be much colour because they're mainly white and blue. So I didn't really want to do that either. So that was one reason. Another reason, there was, I think, one or two undead ones, and I really like the undead element. I have done, I know, a bit ironic, I have done Rattleshake, but that was different because I actually own that Skylander, so I didn't necessarily mind drawing that one. But the other ones, no, I'm not a big fan. So they're the only ones where I probably would not be drawing them as much. The point is, use this well when you're seeing me drawing. You're seeing me also draw. It's because it's a lot more detailed, and also it's also the speed in what I'm drawing at, because I'm drawing. It takes me about an hour to do a normal Skylander picture, but you guys will only see, say, about 5 minutes, and it's being sped up at ×8. And then of course I'll put music on in the background because it's just a bit more interesting than having nothing. a bit bland, if not. Imagine hit 5 minutes of just nothing while you're drawing a picture. It's just not be fun or exciting in any way or form. So, and then usually I've got music on the background, or sometimes even, I once watched a movie, I think it was Star Wars, the one I saw at the cinema, so I can't remember, I think it was the last one, Return of the Sith or Revenge of the Sith, I think it was. So that was one time I amused myself. And sometimes I've even Skyped friends, which they laugh, because once I got cramp in my leg, of the angle I was sitting at, so they got a good laugh, but just me going, oh, it's blooming hurts. And I make nice chubby arms, because Wrecking Ball has nice chubby arms. But so I always have, if you notice at the start of all my art videos, a lot of them always have a rough pencil guideline or mapping at the start. You have to be quite good with your eyesight to spot it. Maybe you already have spotted it. It's never a tracing, it's always by freehand, and you can tell because when they turn up. But the reason being is I didn't always used to do it. A lot of them I went straight in. But like with the Magna Charge one, I really wasn't happy about that because I don't remember mapping out that to begin with. And then I just wasn't happy with the look of it in the end. And I think that's another thing. If I don't want to draw it, if I'm not in the drawing mood, you can really tell. And that was one of the times I tried it, forced myself to do it, and it just went horribly wrong. So I really don't like doing it if I can get away with it. It's just doesn't turn out very well at all. My art, I had a person come around and teach me art, and I used to find that out. If I didn't want to draw it, it would just look awful. And I remember trying to draw it's like a kettle once, and the reason being I had to practice on like getting a shine on things and a tag look to it. And oh my word, I just hated it. I don't know why. I was like, why do I have to draw this thing? I had no heart in it, and it looked as bad as I remember it. So that sort of stuck with me. So, trick is, if you don't want to draw it, don't draw it. Okay, let's make sure we get this eye done right, because I want this to be googly eye. Googly eye, yeah. So usually ×8, I mean, usually say for an hour I'll sit here. I should explain, people wonder why on my Stink Bomb one I said from my mum. Reason being is Stink Bomb was her very first favourite Skylander. Shroom Boom's her all-time favourite now, unless one new game comes out. But for now, it's Stink Bomb. She's quite close memory with. Okay, so once I've done the main outline, not all the vids, but most of the vids, you will notice I then come and I rub them out. And I've got my rubber is a bit messy. I'm trying the old rubbing it on the jeans. That's a very old rubber. I've had this since like '98. So it's even got a fox on it. So if you've ever wondered what it is, the shape on the outline that you see really fast, that's what it is. It's a fox. And I try not to go too much over the heavy lines because it'll smudge it and then it'll look a bit weird. So you want to remove just the worst bits, so especially like in that little eye pupil I get there. So it's just basically kneading out. I always do this over every single one, just to get a little bit of a clean up. Alrighty. So like here, I'm not happy with because he's meant to be a round shape. So here, what I'll do is I'll just quickly rub this bit out here, because sometimes it can just be something very slight, and it's like, yeah, I want this to be more of a bulge shape like this. Like that. There you go. Something slight, but I notice it. And I'm slightly OCD and autistic, so perfection sort of runs into me. Alright, so there we go. That is the pencil bit done. So now we'll head into... Okay, and the colour stays really simple. So these are my felt pens, which I use, and it's these 5. This one, not so much. I don't use that one very often at all, but it's mainly these 4 which make the legendary Skylander come to life. So I always start with the yellow or supposedly gold first, because being yellow, if the blue was on first, I'm just going to have a mesh of green. And what's really nice is the camera picks, I mean, it's just an ordinary camera, it's not a camcorder, but it picks up the colour a lot better. So like the blue, when I put it on, it looks very dark, but you guys see it's very bright and vibrant, so I'm very glad about that. Fill in the teeth. As you can notice, it's not the original. I know I said earlier on about how I'm doing the originals, and here I am doing the Giants version of Wrecking Ball, not the original, hence why it's got these big bangs. But I've got two Wrecking Balls, and my favourite one is my Giants version because he's pure purple metallic. So not the most expensive Skylander I own, but he is one of the cool paint job ones. So I thought I'd immortalise that in the drawing sort of thing. So plus again, it'd be the quickest one I could do. Plus it was one of the funnest. So I had to. I'm baking as well. My dog stays quiet. Usually, sometimes in the camera, you may notice like a change in colour or like a very brief shadow comes over the screen. And what it is, it's simply my darling dog charging past to bark at something walking past the window. So I always have to do these in the lounge. My bedroom's so tiny, I haven't got space to do it. Actually, no, tell a lie. I do believe Rattleshake was drawn in my bedroom, but it was very awkward, and I did get cramp. It was either in my wrist or my knee. I think it was on my knee because I was kneeling on the wooden floor, and it was horrible. So at least in here I'm kneeling on a rug. So always done on the floor. Always done that. So once I've done the main yellow, hold on. I might do this bit first. This is actually red. That's the only other slight challenge or bit of fun really. You get to decide, if it was a legendary version, what parts would be in gold, what parts would be in blue. So you only get those 2 colours. And that was the problem I had with Stink Bomb at first. I was a bit challenged. I thought, how am I going to do this for? No, come on. It's Mum's Red Scarlet. You can do this. And it actually worked out okay. So once we've done that, you come onto the orange. Now I know there's no orange on a legendary Skylander, but it is good for just shading. Adding a bit of depth to it. That's right. I said I never went to school. This little thing for you guys to learn. So I never went to school. I was homeschooled. But then when I got a bit older, this person who came around and checked my schoolwork, she said I had a talent there, so I should really be doing something about it. So my mum, she had a friend who actually taught art, like up to GCSE level. So she came around and said she taught me things like shading and depth. And she did teach me things like using watercolours, and I have done some stuff with that. But at the end of the day, I just prefer pencils and, you know, old school stuff, really. You know, this simple things of art. I don't have to. Oils and that are fine, but just a little bit fiddly at times. And sometimes you don't want fiddly. Sometimes you want just plain fun, you know. So that's what I do. So now a bit of detailing on the tongue. And it always looks a bit messy to me, but when you actually then start highlighting everything else, you know, it starts coming together, and you go, actually, you know what, actually it is working. You know, don't doubt yourself. Keep it up. So not a lot on the eyes, because obviously you want to keep that out in like that. Okay. So now we get the blue. Now, so I start here. Now these felt pens, if you haven't, I don't know if you've noticed, they do have a thin and a thick side, which is quite handy for me because sometimes on the smaller drawings you've got a little bit of detailing, so I use the thin side, but for the most part I always use the thick side. And I always do it in sections, so I could just colour the whole thing in, but I can very faintly make out where the lines are, so later on when I come to highlighting it with the black, making it all stand out nice and bold, that's when it's going to be important. So the fun part, we just go there, fill it in, fill it all in. Actually, I've been pretty interested to watch this. I'm not used to. I love watching my own vids backwards because I love seeing it filled in so quickly. It reminds me of something like of Art Attack in the old days. So I love watching that show as a kid. So it's quite nice to see me doing it for a change. Oh, okay, that's how it's done. Make sure I'm really careful with that gold line. So if you guys have any suggestions of skylanders you want to see in legendary form, say leave them as a suggestion in the comment box, and I will try my best to do them. Unless I think it's too much of a challenge, I may slowly back away and go, yeah, I'm not doing that. But for the most part, I will give it a try. I do have, what you guys can't see off camera, I have a big book of Skylanders right in front of me, which is what I'm copying this drawing from. So basically I'm looking up and I'm seeing, okay, that's what it roughly looks like, and I've got to then transfer it across. I used to use the cards that you get of the figures, but the thing is the picture was so small that sometimes it was just really difficult. And then so sometimes I'd have the image on my laptop and I'd copy that, but then that got a bit difficult, so I went and bought this book, and it's got it's up to Swap Force, so it's not all the Skylanders, but it's got a majority. But it's quite nice just to have something to look at rather than go, okay, I'll have a guess, you know, and drag my hand in the ink. It's a bit unusual. I'm used to singing to myself at this point, just to concentrate more. And music in the background. Anything just to take my mind off it. My mind might go a little bit insane. I do sound a bit insane sometimes. I'm not arguing with myself for once. So I can still. You've probably not noticed this on quick speed, but I still tend to fix things. Like if I'm still not happy, I think it should be more ball shaped. So I'll just keep going back and just adding a little bit more layers slowly just to fill them out. And then you guys say, but in fast speed you won't notice it because it's happening so quick. You're like, oh, Did she do something? I don't know. Looks like it. No. Okay, we'll just go with it. And don't worry about the claws. I'm going to go back with them with the dark pen just to highlight it. So. And this is a bit I'm just going to fill in because it's just the lines basically, and I can easily fill them in. And oh no, the pen's running out. Oh no, horror. Pen's running out. Oh no. Oh man. Do you know the shop I bought these from still does these pens? Oh dear. Running out. Nothing like it. Pens running out live on YouTube with this. Ah. Come on baby. Come on. Just get a little bit more ink out of you. I bet Walt Disney never had this problem. You can see, oh my god, this is taking long. Hold on. I got an idea. It's going to be a little bit. There we go. The thin side. There we go. Right, I'll be going back to the shop. I bought these about a year ago, so I might have to wait till the next school holidays for them to. It's usually when the shops do bring back the pens and felt tips in it. Buy like 5 packets. Is that enough? Yeah, that's fine. That'll last me. I'm just doing a bit of a creative arc. Calling that to switch to go. I'm gonna have to rub that line out because it's a bit close to the leg. Do his knee and his ankle. I do love this jump Wrecking Ball does. It's like a ha ha jump. See, I didn't talk as much as I thought I was going to in this vid because I sort of went into concentration mode. Like, must keep pen inside line. Must not go over. Aware of the pressure. But the dogs kept quiet and the birds kept quiet as well. I was waiting for the bird to start singing or something. Probably falling asleep. I just need him up a little bit. There we go. So now I've done all the blue bit, we're on to the final stage of the black. Okay, so on the Legendary Wrecking Ball, this is the third take I've done on this one. I'll say third take because my camera only recorded in minutes of 8, so I've had to stop and start. So this is the felt pen, and again it's the thin side, not the thick, the thin, because it's thick, well, it's got problems. And it's great because it looks good up till now, because you've got colour on the page, but when you use the black makes all the other colours stand out and just sort of it joins them together. I can't quite explain it, but it brings off the page, and I love that. That's the fun part to me. Also with the black pen, it's when I fill in minor details, I can give like life to the skin, make the character look a bit more interesting. So it's a fun part, and I get to live a little with this. I get to put in the finer details, which then really say that extra makes it leap. Everything leaps off at the page at this point. So, okay, claws. So the claws. There. Curve to the back. Little spiny bit. So we'll look at the picture. I've always been, I can do drawings off by heart. I do like drawing like little cartoon sketches of dogs, raccoons and whatever. But it's only really, I just generally prefer copying off by this. Well, I've got no imagination, that's what I'm saying. It's just a case of it's a very nice relaxing thing. So all you've got to do basically, just follow the yellow brick road, but just follow the line, and Put it in there. Okay, now here's the, well, I say tricky bit, only because it dries pretty quickly, but it's still, there's a damp, well, not damp, damp's the wrong word we're using. You can feel it on the page that's not quite dry yet. No, Holly, stay. It's just moved on the sofa, so don't you dare jump off. You can wait. All nostrils. Man, this must seem quite boring actually to watch, actually, I can imagine. It's more fun to watch it fast, I know, but at least this way you can see. And in some ways as well, it's handy, because then you can see I've never sped anything up. Well, I have obviously sped things up, but what I mean is I've never taken any shortcuts. You can actually see, oh, hold on. No, she is drawing that. I've seen it myself. So it's not edited. It's clearly in my voice. So there's no one else doing it for me. It's in my hands. And the bridge of the nose. Okay. We just need to go around this eyeball. And again, using the black, it separates the colours, so it makes them stand out. Alright, and now we fill in the details. So you've got this bit here, and this has got like a ridge. So we'll do it. And then basically, then we do like, say, a bit of this. So wherever the shadow, the black, we use is to really pick it up. I haven't forgot my tongue, don't worry. Everyone's going, where's the tongue? You haven't done the tongue yet. Do you know what? I'm going to leave the pupils till last, because I know as soon as I fill them in, it's going to really complete the drawing. It's going to make or break it, so I'm going to leave them. In the back of the mouth. I should say recently I've also started doing the drawings bigger. You can tell if you look back at my, say, Slobbertooth, you hardly see me do it because my hand's in the way. This is why I've started doing them bigger as well, because this way you see more of the picture, and because the picture's bigger, it means I can angle my hand better. So I try and, that's what I've been trying to do recently. So I apologise for the early vids where you don't see much happening. It's more a case, obviously, a little bit here, a little bit there. I have, say, now tried to actually angle my hand better, keep it out of the shot, so you can actually then say, oh, okay, I can actually see what's being drawn now. So, okay, let's finish this tongue off. Big slurpy tongue. It's a good thing he hasn't got that evolvability where it's like a spiky ball here, because I'd been a bit hell to draw. And of course, Wrecking Ball has like, he has like scales, so do some scales. And because like scales don't, well, I know they probably do form some sort of pattern, but here we can take a little bit of licensing. We can just go a little bit like nutty instead. Okay, so all that's left to do to finish this picture off, guys, so is just fill in the pupils, and I'll use the chunky side of the black pen. Guys. And voila, you have a legendary Wrecking Ball. And so, I mean, what I do is that sometimes you notice, if you ever watch it, I'll stop and there's like, no, hold on, there's actually a little bit of shading here that needs to go in, that needs to be darker. So basically, I mean, it's basically adding a little bit extra just to try and really lift it off the page. You guys go, oh yeah, look at that, I can actually see that now. But you guys knew it was Wrecking Ball earlier on anyway, so you've got nothing to worry about. And so just do a few more scales on these bits here. And voila, now that is a legendary wrecking ball. So thanks for watching this vid, guys. Don't forget to comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed watching it. And of course, any ideas for Skylanders you'd like to see in legendary form, please just leave, obviously, the comment in the box. And you know what, I'm still not happy with it. Because I've just realised. There you go. See? This is what happens. Seriously, in real life, I'll do it, and then I'll keep going back to it. This is OCD. Yeah, right, now, I'm happy. Yeah, no, wait, no, I'm still happy, no. Yeah, okay, now I'm done. No, wait, no, hold on.